Finance Minister Tito Mboweni delivers his special adjustment budget shortly at about 3 o'clock. It's expected that National Treasury will warn of a significant contraction in economic growth, while debt levels are expected to exceed levels indicated in the February budget, with the budget deficit set to widen as government expenditure far surpasses its current revenue receipts from South African businesses and households. Well, to anticipate further, I'm joined on the line by Dave Mohr. He's an investment strategist at Old Mutual. Thanks very much, Dave, for joining us. So what are you expecting the Finance Minister to signal in terms of GDP, the budget deficit and other key metrics?
I think, first of all, the GDP, we probably can take a lead from what the Reserve Bank forecast in their last monetary policy meeting, which was minus 7%. If we're going to differ from that, I think Treasury might be a bit more conservative and the negative number could be a bit bigger. I think what is important is that, as was confirmed today with a very low inflation rate, that if we look at that kind of real growth and inflation much lower, that we probably could look at a nominal GDP number, so that's after inflation, that could shrink around about 5%. And that is significant because the budget is not a real number. The budget works off the nominal economy to gather taxes. So that would mean that I think the tax take is going to be significantly lower. We earlier had the Commissioner of Inland Revenue suggesting that it could be between 250 or 300 billion rand less than what was budgeted only a few months ago in February. So that can bring your budget deficit up to around 15% of GDP.
So the President has hinted at adding more stimulus over and above the 500 billion rand put in place for COVID-19. If the Finance Minister were to go down that road, where on earth would he find the finances for that?
Well, if we look at the package, there are different types of packages. The one was a significant part of that package was a 200 billion rand guarantee by government. And that's a guarantee for loans that banks should give to struggling businesses. Under that agreement, banks take the first loss of about 6%, and thereafter Treasury would then make up for the rest. So that doesn't imply an immediate cash outlay. So therefore, it's something that probably would need to be financed later on. And if the economy maybe recovers better, then we would need significantly less than the 200 billion. From what I can understand, what I've gleaned is that we're not close to, supplying that kind of funding through the banking system at the moment. Other than that kind of stimulus, direct spending, tax cuts and those things would be very difficult to implement. We're already in a corner with our very high budget deficit, and in particular, the high funding costs on the deficit. If you think of it, we pay a 10-year government bond yield of about 9 to 10% at the moment, with a nominal economy shrinking. That, in the long run, makes your fiscal situation unsustainable. So they have to be very careful in what kind of stimulus that we would look at. The best kind of stimulus would be to introduce a budget that would show commitment towards longer-term fiscal consolidation that could stimulate business confidence and confidence in general in the economy, and in that way help the economy going forward.
Dave, more to ask, but not enough time. Thank you so much for your inputs there. That was Dave Mohr. He's an investment strategist at Old Mutual. This is where we say goodbye to our SABC 3 viewers. Of course, we continue to broadcast the news on the SABC News channel.